On this number line, we have the numbers 0, 1 and 2 labelled, and to get from 0 to 1, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. So we know each line is 1/10. Now we need to work out the values of A, B and C. Now A is 4/10 of the way along the line, and we can write that as a decimal because we know that 4/10 is 0.4. The tenths place value column is the first column after the decimal point. Now for point B, we have 1/10 after 1, so we have 1 and 1/10, which is 1.1. So on the number line, we've gone past 1, and then we've gone another 1/10 of the way to the next whole number. So what is the value of C? Well, again, it's beyond 1, and this time it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/10 of the way to the next whole number, so it's 1.8. So now pause the video and see if you can work out where points A, B and C are on our number line. A is 0.3, B is 0.7 and C is 1.4. Now this number line is more confusing because rather than whole numbers being labelled, we have labelled tenths. So we have our labelled values increasing by 1/10 each time. So we have 1.6, 1.7 and 1.8. And to get from 1/10 to the next, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. So each of these lines represents 1/10 of 1/10. And if you divide 1/10 by 10, you get 100th. So if we want to write the number which this arrow is pointing to, we will need to use our hundredths place value column. And after 1.6, we have 3 hundredths, so our decimal number is 1.63. Now which number is the arrow pointing to now? Well, remember, between tenths we have hundredths, and because there are 10 lines from each tenth to the next, each line is 1/100th, so we're 8/100ths past 1.6, so we have 1.68. And now we have 1.74, and here we have 1.77. So let's look at this number line. Where is our arrow pointing to now? 2.84. And now 2.89. Now 2.94, and now 2.97. So for this number line here, we can see that each line must be 1/10, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from 0 to 0.5. So each line must be 0.1 or 1/10 more than the previous line. But what if our arrow doesn't point to a line? Well, our number is going to be halfway between 0.4 and 0.5. So between 4/10 and 5/10. That's 0.45 or 45 hundredths. Because remember, 4/10 is 40 hundredths, 5/10 is 50 hundredths. So right in the middle, we have 45 hundredths, which as a decimal is written 0.45. So what do we have here? We have 0.95, halfway between 0.9 and 1. And here, it's halfway between 1.3 and 1.4, so 1.35. And what about here? Well, it's between 0 and 0.1. But remember, 0.1 is 1/10, and that's equivalent to 10 hundredths. So our answer is 0.05, because 5 hundredths is between 0 and 10 hundredths. And because it's hundredths and we don't have any tenths, we need that 0 in our tenths place value column before the 5 in our hundredths column.